Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Today is Tuesday, May 14th. I'll be taking a look at what all energies want to come in for you from God, Spirit, the Divine. We're going to take a look at what the challenges are for you as well, and maybe some tools or some ideas for how to overcome those. Tomorrow, we do have Mercury entering Taurus, so you're going to see a little bit of a slowdown in that mental energy, and that's also going to help, like, as you're making plans, like being able to stick with them as well, though. So we're going to take a look. This is also going to be using that format where I pull cards for the challenges as I'm going sign grouping by sign grouping. So hopefully you like that format. And as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. I will be doing the reads for the second half of May, and those will be posting within the next day or so. So make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those new videos are posting. Let's go ahead and jump in and see what all we have for today. All right, we have our Four of Wands in reverse, we have our Three of Cups in reverse, and we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. So some reverse energy here. The Four of Wands, and this is going to be a twin flame card for those of you who are on that journey. Either way, reverse or upright, it still signifies that. So there's a little bit of this domestic instability, though, because it is coming in the reverse. With our Three of Cups in reverse, that has that energy of like loneliness that's coming in with it, which if there's some sort of hiccup there on the domestic side, you could be feeling some loneliness. There could be just some distance there. And then Ace of Swords in the reverse, it's about having a lot of confusion and a little bit of this like chaos and loss of focus. So with that, it does look like it's going to be a little bit of a turbulent day, I suppose. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what exactly that means for each of the sign groupings. We will start today with our air signs and see what your challenges are as it relates to this energy that's coming in for you. Pull a couple. We have our Four of Swords, which is about rest and recuperation and healing. And then we have our Seven of Swords. There's you're in your head because you have this swords energy. There's some of this like lies and deception and cheating type of energy that's coming in. So be mindful of that. It could be something that's disrupting your harmony. It's disrupting your peace and making you feel kind of lonely with some of that energy that's coming in. But let's take a look at what is the next level of energy after that. Because there is that card about confusion. So what's coming in after that? Then after that, there's the Six of Wands in reverse is about disgrace and kind of like that feeling of defeat. So it looks like it's a little bit tough there. Let's see what else we have coming in for our air signs. This is going to be Temperance in reverse. So things are out of balance. Now, this is also the Temperance card. Also, that's Archangel Michael. So that is the keeper of the twins. So if there is a feeling of something weird that feels like it's shifting, like the ground is shifting beneath your feet, know that it's doing that for your highest good, like things are being shuffled and rearranged. The end of a tough cycle approaches. If you've been battling with something for a while and feeling like, especially something where you've been feeling like things are out of balance, the end of that is coming. And so you'll start to see things leveling off a little bit. And there could be some confusion as that's happening, though. But so your challenge is, how do you heal? And with the lies, so remember, this is in the challenge space. So it's not saying that all of that is actually happening. It's saying that this is what you're challenged on. So if there has been somebody in your energetic field, and maybe for some of you it is actually your twin, that there's been issues in the past about lying or deception or things like that, that could be your challenge, and that's what you're being called on to heal, and to not jump to certain conclusions, to not assume that all the same patterns are repeating, because with this end of a tough cycle approaching, that could be the end of that cycle. So especially, you know, when we have this Six of Wands in reverse coming up, that this was a clarifier card on what the challenges are. In the past, you felt a sense of like disgrace, disappointment, you know, a sense of defeat as it relates to some lies and things like that. And so that's what you need to be healing. And that can be a tough pill to swallow, but that's what you need to be healing, because it does seem like there's this confusion that's coming in. But with having Archangel Michael and the end of a tough cycle approaching, it's almost reading that, you know, that was your challenge in the past. And even though there may be a little bit of this energy of like loneliness or being reclusive right now, like, don't let that disrupt your healing. Like, don't let that turn into a downward spiral, if that makes sense. Then we have inflow with money. So, you know, you have abundance coming in, and then move beyond intention to belief. So this is really about putting those thoughts into action. So it's not just like, oh, I intend to do this. It's I believe that this is going to be happening. And for some of you, if you are in, you know, for example, this twin flame scenario, you have some healing that you need to do. And by pushing that forward, that healing, you're going to move past this rocky stage. So remember, before blessings come in, there's usually a final test, a final push, like, is this really what you want? And then this said, you are closer to your goals than you think. And so with that, it's kind of like, this is your challenge. This is going to be what's coming in, screaming for your attention and trying to test you to see, have you done the healing? Have you moved past that? Can you move on? And if you can, then I think you're closer than you think. But this is that reminder that things are feeling out of balance, and that you need to work on how do you bring that back into balance. So let's pull a timing card to see, when does it look like things will be coming back into balance for our air signs. Within 3 months. So that energy to try to bring that balance is coming in soon. And let's just pull a couple cards here. What should our air signs be doing right now? Like, what else should our air signs be doing to try to bring that balance in? The Devil in reverse and Five of Pentacles in reverse. So, good message here, there. This Devil in reverse, this is going to be about breaking free from whatever is holding you off your path. And then with your Five of Pentacles in reverse, that is about moving on from some of these challenges. So that's overcoming your adversity. This is about forgiveness. And so this is really a good message that this is what our air signs need to be working on right now in order to move past this challenge that's coming up. So we've got that. Alrighty, that was our air signs. Now let's take a look at our fire signs, which is going to be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What do we have for you? Oh, first things first, challenge card. All right, what do we have in the challenge space for our Aries, Leo, Sag? You've got Seven of Pentacles, which is about your blessings and rewards, and then you have the Devil energy. So there's something that is still trying to keep you off your path, and that's going to be your challenge. So your challenge is, the Devil energy is like keeping you from your rewards, and you need to work on how to break free from that Devil energy. So there is this reclusive, domestic instability and confusion. And so I would say for fire signs, how this is looking is, when this situation presents itself, what are you going to do? Because it's not a matter of if this presents. At some point, you're going to feel this energy, this sense of like, things are out of step on the home front. Feeling that lonely outsider energy, feeling like things are just confused at home. What are you going to do about that? Are you going to give in to the devil energy that's trying to push you in a certain direction? And it could be, if you're in a looping cycle there that needs to end, that the devil keeps trying to push you to loop again. And so it's a matter of how do you overcome that? Let's take a look at this energy here. What do we have coming in? We have the moon in reverse. So this is what are the the self-delusions. What are the lies that you're telling yourself about this situation? And so really being honest with yourself and overcoming your fears about how to move forward from that. All right. Meditate and contemplate. So make sure that you're focusing on meditating and really connecting in with spirit about what is it that you should be doing. How should you be navigating through this? Because you're kind of feeling like you're not really reaping all the benefits that you want right now. All right. You are magic. So some of that is about believing in yourself and not having those self-defeating thoughts, not having that, my happiness isn't important. Believe in how amazing you are and that you deserve happiness. You deserve good things in your life, because otherwise that'll keep you, if you don't believe that, it'll keep you looping there. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. That's an Eckhart Tolle quote. Your present moment right now, what you're experiencing, is a direct result of what you've done. So this accept it as if you had chosen it. You have either affirmatively chosen it, or by virtue of having not made other decisions, you've chosen to be in this moment. So until you can sit there and acknowledge that, hey, I played a very strong role in why I am where I am today, until you acknowledge that, you're not going to be able to change the situation, because it's that whole idea that every little step that you're making, and actually this is one of the other cards I put in here, is every choice is a brick in the wall. And so by choosing to omit certain bricks, or, instead of selecting this really awesome brick that I want, I'm going to select this one that's like old and crumbly and falling apart. You are building the wall based on your choices. So make sure that you're making good choices and choices that are going to build towards the picture that you want. So what is the advice for fire signs on how to move through this? The Empress. And so that is sitting in that higher wisdom, in that energy. And death. I swear, the death card has been coming out for fire signs in various ways for the last 4 days. So something needs to end, and sit in that inner wisdom, that higher consciousness, that divine, that feminine energy, and really look at what is it that needs to change in order to change this picture. So if you're feeling this energy of, there's just confusion and loneliness and all this instability, it doesn't necessarily mean that is coming in as a new thing for you. This could be what you've been battling with, that energy, you're just feeling it more today. So it's a matter of how do you end the processes, end the thought processes, the physical structure. How do you end that's contributing to this sense of imbalance? All right, now let's take a look at our earth signs. So that is going to be our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What is in your challenge space for today, earth signs? 5 of Swords, so that challenge of moving on, and the challenge of new beginnings. So the Ace of Wands, this is that lack of creativity, the Ace of Wands in reverse. And then the Five of Swords in reverse is about resolution and compromise. So there's definitely this sense of you're being challenged. It's like you don't want to compromise. It's almost like you don't want to find resolution. And you are feeling this lack of creativity, and that there's been these, promises that have been abandoned, things like that. And so that's really what's pushing up against you. But it's almost like, even though that has happened, it's like you don't want to compromise. And it almost comes across that could be like, you feel like you've been wronged. And so you don't want to compromise because you're feeling like, hey, if somebody else is abandoning their promises, like, I'm going to stick it to them. So almost like that sort of energy. But we do have the World coming up, and then the Lovers in reverse. So it looks like it's the end of this. It's coming up on the end of a cycle with a romantic partner. The Lovers, the Lovers in reverse is about that imbalance within relationships, taking it just at face value. The Lovers in the upright signifies like harmony and trust and, all of that. This is like this sense of distrust and imbalance and just the relationships in general. So the World is the ending of a cycle. So it looks like there's going to be the ending of this romantic relationship cycle for you. All right. You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. So if you're sitting in those positions of, I'll call it like, oh, why does this happen to me? It must be that I'm not good enough. It's not that. It's almost more of an issue of, not everything in your life is meant to be permanent, and that this could just be the end of a cycle, the end of a lesson that needs to be learned, so that you can move on to find that happiness. What does your soul say? And this, in terms of the finding resolution and compromise, since that's in your challenge space, what is your soul telling you to do? Is your soul telling you to dig in harder and make them pay, or is your soul telling you move on and get peace? So you really need to listen to your soul, even though sometimes when you're in that hurt stage, it's easy to, oh yeah, I really want to stick it to so-and-so, or, whatever. Like, is that really what's going to ultimately bring you peace? So listen to your soul. And also listen to your anger. It's protecting you. So if something is making you angry about like this situation, listen to it, because that is also your soul speaking to you. When you get angry about something, it's because you feel like you've been mistreated. You feel like something's unfair. You feel like that's kind of that last defense for your inner child, is when you get all angry about something. And so rather than continuing to fight and fight and fight, look at that. Is this just a cycle that needs to wrap up and end? If you're not learning and you're not growing from it, then essentially you're just wallowing. We're here on this planet in this incarnation to learn lessons. And if you're not learning from it, and it's just continuing to be this experience of bringing you down in vibration, then the lesson to learn there is, how do you cut situations and people out of your life that are bringing you down? How do you cut people and situations out that are keeping you from your highest good? And your anger is going to be a big trigger there, in terms of what it is that you need to do. Like, that's a big alarm, almost like, when a siren goes off. Well, the siren goes off to alert you about danger. And so that's what your anger is doing. So that was our messages for our earth signs. Last, we have our water signs. So let's take a look and see what all energy is coming through today for our water signs. And that is going to be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have our Queen of Pentacles energy, so sitting in that luxury and that comfort, and Two of Swords. So this is in the challenge space. You're being challenged because you're you're feeling like you're not in that comfortable space, and you have this decision to make. And so from a challenge perspective, it's like, which path do I take? And that's something, since this kind of paints a picture of, definitely this is not that Queen of Swords or Queen of Pentacles energy. So how do you get yourself into Queen of Pentacles energy if this is some of the big energy that's pushing on you? And so that is what this challenge card is about, is how do you choose a path that's going to, lead you down the right direction. This one, and I've been talking about this a lot because it's been coming up for fire signs quite a bit. In this Two of Swords card, she is looking towards the fork. She is definitely looking away from the knife. In the traditional tarot deck, she's looking straight ahead. So it's almost like that. I really don't know what to do. I'm not really favoring one side or the other. I'm just stuck in the middle. This person is favoring one side over the other. But now with the blindfold on, there is a sense of, nope, I'm just not going to look at that other option. I'm just not going to do it. I know there's another option out there and I'm not going to do it. And that's kind of the challenge, is how do you look at your options clearly? How do you really factor in, where could I go? Because you're feeling kind of locked out of that luxury, that comfort, that stability, that nurturing energy. And so you really need to be able to look at all of your options, not just, hey, I want to look at the one or two things that serve me. You need to be able to look at what are all of your options so you can make a good decision there. And the Hermit, that's going to be that energy of like quiet introspection. So really using this to be able to work through, what are your choices? What are your, what's the totality of your options that you're choosing from here, so that you can really look at them. And remember, the Hermit then shines their light to others. After whatever this challenge is that they are able to work through, they're shining that light to others and kind of leading the way. Energy is gaining momentum. So it looks like this period of introspection is gaining some momentum and helping you get closer to a decision point, like with that Two of Swords energy. And then we have follow through. If you start down a path, and maybe part of this is that thinking, that Hermit energy right now. If you're starting down a path, make sure you follow through with it, and that you don't just, oh, well, there was a tiny bit of pushback, so I'm not going to go down that path anymore. I'm going down this one. Like, make sure you're following through with with the options you're thinking about, with any intentions that you're setting. If you're working on cleaning up certain habits, behaviors, whatever, make sure you follow through on that. If your mission was, I need to spend more time, meditating, or, with this, so if there's some lonely, reclusive type of energy, if one of your missions is to go out and make more friends, you have to follow through on it. You can't just say, oh, well, I went to, one pottery class and I don't have, 10 new friends now, so I'm just not going to go anymore. If that's part of this lonely energy is that you're not, you're not in connection with other people, not even romantic, but, like I said, if part of your mission or part of your intention is, I want to be able to make more friends, you have to follow through on that, and not just, oh, I tried it for, one tiny little bit and it didn't work, so I'm just going to sit here on my own. So, and this is a sign from the universe. This goes with this Hermit card, this part over here along the side. What you're thinking about, if this has been on your plate for a while and you've been thinking, what do I do about this? What do I do about it? I don't know. I'm kind of split between, do I do this? Do I do that? I really think maybe I want to do that, but I'm not quite sure. If you've been in that headspace, this is your sign. So take that however it resonates. But I hope that you found today's message to be helpful. And as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. And as I mentioned, I'll be doing the videos for the second half of May coming up here shortly. So make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell to be alerted when those post to the channel. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.